How was that experience for you? Yeah. You know, so many of us forget this great tradition. It's about being in communion with God in the secret closet of our own heart. What if, for example, instead of a Starbucks break, you took a meditation break? Especially if you've had a tough day. You know, it's amazing. Little practices is how we change our life. It's not usually big things, it's the little things. So thank you. That was very good. That was 10 minutes, whether you realize or not. 10 minutes. Okay? And notice interiorly what's going on inside of you. You realize, oh, this is so good. I need to do this more often, etc., etc. Okay? So I'd like to give you some quick ideas of how you might be able to bring what we've talked about this afternoon into your life, into your relationships, into your workplace. Those little notebooks I love. I use them at my desk. They're a gift from the HR office. And at the bottom you'll notice the 4 pastoral values that we have here at the ACC. I was asked to speak on the last 2 today within the framework of evangelization. So here's some other practical ideas about evangelization practices. One is graciousness, or another word is kindness, beginning with how we park our car and where. I made a mistake of parking in somebody else's space. You know, and the person space I took wanted to key my car. Oh, okay, all right. He didn't, that's good. But so in other words, being gracious in the parking lot is one. You know, when coworkers share with you about a family issue or problem, a great response is not, let me tell you what to do, wrong. Would you mind if I pray with you? Would you mind if they said, no. Okay, can I pray for you? You see? Just by raising it at that level, you realize, oh, wow, they're going to take this conversation beyond this moment. Okay? Would you mind if I prayed with you? Or may I pray with you? The other thing is to encourage people in times of trouble. You know, we all have tough days, and some of us show it more easily than others. But when you can see the steam coming off somebody's hair, you know, ooh. Okay? My cousin had a lovely line. Whenever she's having a tough day, she'd tell her husband and 3 sons, I've got the fragiles. And at first they didn't understand what she was saying, but once they saw the effect, oh, okay, Mom, gotcha. They'd all give her space. So working out code language, also encouraging others. I know a wonderful story of a pastor whose wife was, literally she was dying, but they didn't know at the time. She was in ICU. He said the one person that meant the most to him was a guy he didn't even know very well. He came into ICU, and he just stood there for 10 minutes in silence, didn't say a word. He was praying, didn't say a word. And then he walked up to the pastor behind him, put his hand on his shoulder, and just said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And he walked out. He said the guy was brilliant. I didn't need anybody to give me scripture quotes, to say this and that, you'll be all right. His presence said it all. So just encouraging people in times of trouble. The other thing is to regularly give thanks for our blessings. Not just interiorly, but out loud. Okay? You know, whether it's in praise. I find when I wake up in the morning, I choose 5. For me, 5 is the magic number. By the 5th one, no matter how lousy a night's sleep I had or whatever, I'm feeling pretty good. It's like, yeah, we forget our blessings in the face of challenges and struggles. Okay? A big one I alluded to earlier is practice sharing good news, not bad news. The reason we share bad news as human beings is because we want to feel better than at least I'm not as bad as her. Thank God. You know what she's going through? Oh, man, let me tell you a whole list. In a strange way, it makes us feel better. But that's the wrong better. It's much wiser to share good news. Find things that you can share with others that are happy things, helpful things. Okay? Another good one is practice seeking out or thinking about meaningful questions that you can ask at mealtime or coffee break. You know, hey, I was reading this article in the New York Times, What do you think about that? You see? The reason I say that, Eleanor Roosevelt had a great line. She said, small people talk about other people. Normal people talk about objects. Great people talk about great ideas. In other words, it raises your mind beyond just the very basic level. Start or facilitate positive conversations that have meaning. Okay? Not just a purpose, oh, okay, could you help me here? I got this thing at work, da-da-da. It's just something that lifts the conversation, the environment. Another one, I know you have to do this with a real, your own sense of safety, but practice talking with strangers. You may end up making a new friend. You see? And especially reach out to those who are different than you. I was with a progressive Catholic group, and this man came up to me very quietly, waited till everybody left the room. He said, Father Jim, he says, could you tell me what to do in this situation? I said, what's that? He says, I joined this group because they seem to be so open-minded. But when they found I voted for President Trump, nobody would talk to me. I've been publicly humiliated, and this guy is a very intelligent man. And I took a deep breath, and I said, I know it's painful, but human beings are human beings, and we all want to feel like we belong. And so these individuals, either some of them haven't shared with you who they voted for or whatever, but can you at least learn when and where and how to share appropriately, you see? And the other thing, forgive them for their own closed-mindedness. We all are closed-minded in certain areas of our life. Some of us politically, some spiritually, some emotionally, relationally. To recognize that we are a mixture of glory and grime. So in this situation, I encouraged him with a cloud of forgetting. Can you forget this and move forward? Act as if. Move into a new reality. These aren't just lines. These are metaphors to help us in our thought process. I don't want to remain there. I like the group, I just don't like the reaction. Okay, what do I need to do so that I can be able to feel more authentic in this group? Okay? All right. So any final questions or comments before we do a final blessing and presence of your faith? God bless you. Thank you for being here this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you. Pass it on.